So welcome everybody to our live stream. We are super excited to have you here with us today. We're going to be getting started in just a minute. So stay tuned to your computer screen. All right, so happy Wednesday, everybody. It is 2 o'clock, and you know what that means. It means it is time for episode 2 of Tech Bites, bite-sized tech talks for teens. My name is Andrew from HighTechU here at the beautiful University of Victoria. I'm coming to you live on campus in the Faculty of Engineering, and I'm excited to be joined by our amazing guest presenter, Brandon, who I think, if I figured this out, oh, no, not that way, that way. That way. He's over there. He's that way. That is Brandon. He is that way. I'm pointing to him at some point from the White Hatter. And super excited to be introducing episode 2, which is focused on leveraging the internet and social media for university, college, and career opportunities. So if you are just seeing us on Twitter here, we're super excited that you are catching us on Twitter. If you are catching us over on Twitch, we're excited that you are catching us on Twitch as well. And we are super excited to get started. So before we go any further, I just want to talk a little bit about Tech Bites. It's this amazing online series that we've started in response to the COVID-19 crisis that we're currently in, but we're really excited to be able to partner with some amazing organizations from around British Columbia and beyond to offer some interesting and engaging teen-friendly content in like a really accessible format. Tech Bites is presented by HighTechU, which is an initiative of the UVic Faculty of Engineering. If you want to learn more, check out hightechu.ca. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to my amazing guest, Brandon from the White Hatter. So Brandon, you are front and center for the stream.
Thank you for having me, Andrew. My pleasure being here with all of you on Twitch and Periscope. How exciting is that? All this live stream technology so many people are using now. We're going to be spending the next little bit talking about leveraging media, social media, and the internet for your benefit. And by way of quick introductions, you know who I am and why I'm here and why I'm talking about this. I work for the White Hatter, and we're an internet safety and digital literacy education specialist company located in British Columbia. And here are some top 5 things about me in terms of my expertise. I have a master's degree in professional communication. I'm a practitioner of ASSIST, which stands for Applied Suicide Intervention Skill Training. I'm an open source intelligence trained investigator using the internet to find things on people. And I had just in 2018, I was awarded the BC Medal of Good Citizenship for the work I do helping students. And I've been a White Hatter now for about 12-ish years. In the White Hatter, we've been in business for about 26 years now, and we're made of a bunch of different experts, current and former law enforcement, academic researchers, mental health advocates, white hat hackers, which can be kind of fun sometimes, online private investigators, and people who are tech experts, programmers, and people who just love technology. And we've presented now to over 478,000 students across North America, Canada, and the United States. And we've also been involved in over 205 interventions where people have reached out to us through social media because they were in a very dangerous life circumstance. they needed some help, and we were able to use social media to communicate with them and get them the help that they need. So today's little tech bite we put together is kind of a sub-topic of one of our presentations we give at schools, which is how to leverage social media for your benefit. Particular, how to increase your university opportunities, how to increase your scholarship opportunities, how to increase your job opportunities. And this is all a part of leveraging. How can you use technology, the internet, and social media to benefit you, to get you those opportunities that you desire? Because as we see in today's world, especially right now, as more and more people are going online more than ever, we need to understand that people do and are in the business of watching and learning and seeing the things we say and do. And yes, when it comes to things like colleges, for example, universities, that some institutions will use social media to look at people who are coming on campus and what they're all about. We're seeing sports teams and coaches and team ownership having to kick players off their team because of unsportsmanlike conduct that they were doing and perpetrating online. And these are all realities that professionals and non-professionals, we all need to be alive to. Because in today's world, people will use the internet to learn about us. So basically, when someone does a Google search, basically most people look at the first topic, the first page of Google. Sometimes some people will look at the second page, the third page. Now, it's rare people ever look beyond the fourth page, and definitely no one looks beyond the eighth page. And I do this all the time. When I want to find out information, I want to research something, normally, first 2-3 pages is usually what I would look at. Now, what I like to work with students and trying to get them to understand is how can you basically own the first couple pages of Google. So when someone Googles your name or they're doing research on you, you can control what they see. Yeah, if they do a little more digging, they might find some things you may not want them to see, but at least we can push the good stuff out. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about here today. And I would suggest the best, most important thing, if you have the means to do so, to really increase your social presence on the internet, is if you're able to buy your own domain. And this is what I mean by that. Here's an example. Yesterday, I went to GoDaddy, which is a pretty popular web domain purchasing company, and I just picked a random name. Resteal. Why not? Random name. And basically, as of yesterday, I don't know if Resteal's a real person. It's just a random name I picked last night. And we can see here how Resteal.com is available, .store, .info, .ca. These are all available. So if I was someone by the name of Resteal, it would be very advantageous for me to purchase these domains. I don't have to use a domain, but at least I have it and I can use it later. And this is something that I would really recommend for people if they have the means to do so. But do keep cautious, because you'll see how it says $2.99 for the first 2 years. Do be careful when you buy your own domain that a lot of web domain companies, they will entice you with very low prices for the first couple years, but then your subscription increases, like 12-fold or something later on. So do read the fine print and be cautious of what exactly you are purchasing and what the price will be in 2 or 1 year afterwards. But if you have the means to do so, buying your own domain is a wonderful tool to really own the internet and kind of carve out your own space. But now that you have a domain, if you have one, now what I really recommend someone to do is to build their own website. Because here are the optics. Basically, I'm going to give you two scenarios. First scenario is your traditional way. Basically, someone, they're an A+ student, they're volunteering, and all that stuff is in their resume. That's your traditional kind of, I want to get an opportunity, I want to apply somewhere, here's a resume, here's who I'm all about. That's the traditional way. In today's world, we're seeing the new media way of how to kind of emphasize who you are. We're basically, same person, same grades, same volunteering opportunities, But scenario 2, what this person is doing is they have their own website, they have a resume, and they have a whole network of specially curated social networks that they're tailoring their image online. And for most people, we're all human, right? If we're looking at someone side by side, and let's say scenario 1 is all paper-based, but scenario 2 is paper-based, but maybe there's videos to add on, there's screenshots, there's pictures. Scenario 2 looks a little more favorable, although they're completely exactly the same grades, same experiences. But because scenario 2 has this media to help them, it's much more advantageous and a lot more applicable, and it looks better. So this is kind of what I want to emphasize here today in the next little bit. And really, really important, and I see this all the time, is making sure if you are publicly saying things on the internet and you want people to see what you're saying because you want employers, job opportunities, scholarships, other opportunities. If you have a good profile picture, so like a professional profile picture, looks good, you're wearing something nice, versus a bad profile picture where someone's doing something that they really shouldn't be doing, first impressions are really, really important. I mean, there's a reason why people, when they go to job interviews, people tend to wear certain things. Well, oftentimes, consider what you look like online, what you wear, and how you hold yourself online. That is also really important because those are all first impressions. And let me give you a good example of how all this can really benefit you. This is a great story. This here's Malcolm. Malcolm here, he has a website that kind of is promoting his soccer career. And when he made this website, there's a video, there's pictures. Prior to making the website, he wasn't getting very many scholarship opportunities. But afterwards, when he made this little website with his name, these videos, he started getting scholarship opportunities, all because of this particular marketing strategy. And this is what I see happening a lot. And I want people to use these strategies to promote themselves. And there's a couple ways you can do that. A good example, let's say you've purchased a domain. A lot of people will use something like WordPress, and many people know what it is. But for those of you who don't, what WordPress is, it's a free website builder. And you do require it to be hosted, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But WordPress can sometimes be a little intimidating. If you have no tech experience, WordPress can sometimes be a little bit intimidating. And it requires hosting. Now, what hosting means, for those of you who don't know what it means, is essentially when you purchase a web domain, so let's say me, for example, my name is Brandon Lohr, I'll buy brandonlohr.com.ca or whatever. Now I want to put a website on that. Although I own the name, the website's not there. So I have to go, for example, here's GoDaddy. I grabbed the screenshot last night, and basically they have certain plans that you pay per month. If you have the means to do so, is great. And you put WordPress on there. It's free, but you still pay this on top. So sometimes this is not really in the scope of some people. Wix is a great example. I love Wix. I'll give you an example why here in a bit. And what this is basically it's an all-in-one package. You can drag and drop and build your own website easily. There's no coding needed. Good example, see the White Hatter website, our website? This entire thing, it's built on Wix, which is kind of cool. But again, it does cost some money. Now, people go, okay, what about the free option? There are options. A good example, this is a great website. It's called www.about.me. And what About.me is, it's a website that it's all SEO, it's all searchable, but you put information on there about yourself, kind of like a resume, and then you can use that as your own personal free landing page, and it links to all the other things you do online. And I think this is a great free solution, and this is all searchable on the internet, and Google will pick this stuff up. So if you don't have the means to build and own your own website, use something like this, because this can be a great alternative. Now, when it comes to social media, there's a couple social media networks I really recommend people to go on to make it public and professional so people can find you. Good example, these are kind of the top few. Facebook, About Me, we just talked about that. Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. These are the social networks that are much easily searchable on the internet. So let's say you are a working professional, you're trying to get a scholarship, maybe you're a sports player. Why not post some videos about how awesome you are at playing your sport on places like YouTube? Because that's now searchable. And you want people to find that. Or what if you are a professional artist? And so you can use Instagram, where you have your personal account, and then you have your professional account. Your personal account is private. Only your friends see it. You're only posting personal, private things. But then you have your second account, which is your professional account, where you are publicly posting all the great things. LinkedIn, pretty self-explanatory. It's all about your work experience. Facebook, yeah, depending on what you're doing, can be a good option as well, and Twitter as well. So people ask, what about Snapchat? Well, things like Snapchat, these messaging apps, they're more innately designed to be private. It's quite difficult for someone on the outside to search you via Snapchat. It can be done to a degree, but it's much limited. These are kind of the top stick spaces. If you're trying to promote yourself online, get those opportunities, get above other people who are not on these places to show how awesome you are, these are what I would recommend. See, it's about reputation management. See, you want to digitally own your name. And we like to say in the White Hatter, squat on your own name. What's squatting? Here's what it is. It's a weird term, but let me describe it to you. Basically, you want to own your presence. So let's say for me, for example, my name, Brandon Lohr, I would want to get an account on as many things publicly available with the name Brandon Lohr. I don't have to use those things right here, right now. But at least if I own those accounts here and now, later on, I could use it. And let me give you a really great example. So this is a website. It's called NameCheck. And what this website does is what you do is on the top here, you put in a screen name, a username, for example. And then what NameCheck does, whatever name you put there, it cross-references that name across all known social networks and websites. Let me give you a really great example. Let's use Resteal again. I don't know if that's a real person. That's just a random name I came up with last night, but let's go with it. So I type NameCheck Resteal. And basically all these green icons means that username, Resteal, has not been used or taken on those accounts. Facebook, Twitter have. So let's say I'm someone by the name of Resteal. I want to find a username that can be applicable and that's as most available across all the major platforms. And this is what I would really recommend. Be consistent. See, if your name is Resteal, Brandon Lohr, or something, and let's say one account is Resteal 5678, and then you have another account that's Resteal 2589, it's inconsistent. And if those are your professional accounts, you want people to see those professional accounts. So if they're consistent, if you give a resume to an employer or to someone who's giving you an opportunity and you want them to see those things, having consistent is way easier for those people to find and watch the great things you're doing. So when at all possible, be consistent. Squat on your own name and have the username the same across all the platforms. Also, monitor yourself. And here's what I mean. You want to be proactive. You want to make sure when someone Googles your name, they don't come across something that you may not want them to see. Not something that you posted, but maybe something someone posted about you. You want to be aware of all the things that might happen. Good example. These are some free resources that we love in the White Hatter. Google Alerts and Talkwalkers. What these websites do, if you have a Google account, you already have access to Google Alerts. It's built into your account. Talkwalkers, you need an email, you just log in and it's free. And what these websites do is we're basically using the power of search engines. So you can put in certain keywords here, like Brandon Lohr, Darren Lohr, the whitehatter.ca, personal protection systems, which is our technical company name. I have put these key terms into Google Alerts. And what that tells me is what I've set Google to do is let's say there's a blog post or there's a website that Google then newly detects. I will get an email sent to me that goes by those names. And I think that is a wonderful solution. Being proactive. So you post things that are awesome about you, but also being proactive, making sure there aren't bad things other people are posting about you. Being proactive or someone else sees that. And I think that is a great solution. And now you want to kind of start to cross-pollinate all these things together. And what does that mean? Here's an example. So let's say you have a resume, you have a website, you have a YouTube page, you have all these professional channels that you're trying to post. So let's say you have a resume. Here's a simple, easy one I made, right? You have your name, your resume, your contact information, but right underneath that, why not put the handles to those professional social media pages that you've created? Your About Me, your Twitter, your Facebook, your all these great places. So this is why. Because we know, and research stats have shown, a lot of times what employers will do, for example, if you're going for a job, is you give an employer a resume. About what 70%, I think more, of what employers will do is when they get someone's resume, one of the first things many people do is they go to Google and they type the first name and they type a last name. And they themselves try to find all these networks. But let's say you have a very common name. Joe Smith, for example, or whatever, it doesn't matter, right? You have a very common name. Well, maybe that person who's looking up online, maybe they come across a different person by the same name as you. And what they're seeing with that person, they're getting different interpretations of who you are. What we like to say in the White Hatter is don't leave it to someone to do the research themselves. You give them the sources directly, which means then you can control what they see. And that means you're going to have a much more better interpretation and impression on those people. So again, cross-pollinating. Let's talk about Me again. Again, one of my favorite sites because it's all searchable on Google. See, with About Me on the free version, there's a paid version, but there's a free version. This is the free one here. See, what I've done here is basically when someone finds this on Google, there's a link right there to my company page. It goes straight to the whitehatter.ca. Great, cross-pollinating. And at the bottom there, what you can see are all the links to Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. All the places I want people to see as well. See, just because you have an account and you're posting things on there, you want to cross-pollinate. You want them to talk to each other. You want when someone comes to your YouTube page, what about in your YouTube video descriptions, you put links to your Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and vice versa. You connect all your sources together so people can easily find you. And that's what you want to do. So what else can help? Some closing thoughts on this little tech bite. Try to take some courses in the arts. What I'm talking about here is writing courses or design courses. Here's why. Let's say you are a programmer. You are an awesomely skilled programmer, and those exist. But you now want to get that job at this company, and you're competing against a lot of different programmers. You want to be able to communicate and convey why you're the better programmer. You may be the better programmer, but if someone who's less skilled than you can communicate that they are more skilled than you by using all these other tools, potentially they might get that opportunity. So if you can design things and you can write things clearly, that can really help you getting those opportunities. Practice photography or cinematography. And you don't need big, massive cameras. I mean, most people have these things, right? Smartphone. You all have these, right? And you can do 4K video, 60 frames per second. You can get some really great video and pictures out of these devices. So why not take some time when people are at home nowadays to go on YouTube, go on Skillshare, and, just watch some tutorials on how to get some really great video and pictures and use that to promote yourself later on your YouTube page, which you then link to your About Me page. All integrated. Learn visual media editors. Good example, GIMP. Let's say you don't want to spend money on a Photoshop subscription that can be pretty expensive. Well, there's free open source solutions like GIMP. GIMP's great. It's a photo editing tool. You can download free online for Mac, Windows, and I think Linux now. And you can edit pictures, crop pictures, change the colors. Great free tool to learn. For videos, there's some pretty good video tools out there. Good example, DaVinci Resolve or iMovie if you're a Mac user. So DaVinci Resolve, this is actually a industry-leading software provider. DaVinci Resolve, people use this in like productions on YouTube all the time. There's a paid version, but they also have a slightly limited free version. It works very similar to the premium version, but why not practice on the free version? And then if you're ready and you want to do some more video work, that more professional work, you can upgrade easily. iMovie, for those Mac iOS users out there, iMovie integrates with Final Cut Pro, which is kind of Apple's premium video editing suite. And I use Final Cut Pro a lot. But iMovie is a slimmed down version of that, and it's free. Unfortunately, Windows users don't have access to it. It's Apple. I mean, that's unfortunate, but I mean, that's just how it works. But DaVinci Resolve works on both Windows and Mac. So, and these are all free, and these things work amazing. So that's what I recommend to kind of hone your skills, and you can learn a lot about these things online on places like YouTube. So why not use it? And yeah, that's kind of what I want to share with all of you today. And before we end, thought it shows all of you, especially for those of you teens who are watching, the White Hatter, we're a resource company. We love giving people free resources. And just the other day, we launched our White Hatter app that works on Apple and Android. If you need help, you have questions, you have concerns, be it mental health, addictions, or all that kind of stuff, we have a whole free app on both app stores you can download. And how awesome is that? Canadian resources and American resources. And we love live streaming. Every Sunday around 1 o'clock in the White Hatter team here in our studio, we actually go live at around 1 o'clock Pacific time, and we talk about all the security, privacy things that have come up during the week. And it's another great way to learn what to look out for and how to promote yourself online. Great resources. Andrew, back to you, I think.
All right, so I think that I'm back and people can hear me again. It looks like I am there. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, wow, that's amazing, Brandon. That's like, it's so amazing that there are not only a lot of tools that are out there for teens that want to own that front page of Google, but also that so many of them are free. I love that so many of these tools that are out there cost absolutely nothing to take advantage of.
They're fantastic, aren't they? And what's great is that you can then integrate the premium ones later on, like DaVinci Resolve. It's free, but they have a professional industry-leading software solution that works the same way.
Yeah.
How awesome is that? Great on their part for marketing, right?
Yeah. Now, do you think that it's ever too early to start with some of this stuff? Is it ever sort of, if you're in, I don't know, grade 9 and you've just entered high school, but you kind of already have an idea of where to go, like, should you wait before you start to do a lot of this stuff, or are you just able to kind of jump in?
I would say jump in as soon as is comfortable for you. A good example, I was working with someone not that long ago, a couple years ago, I think, and they were thinking about purchasing a website of a certain name, but someone else purchased the website a couple months before they finally did it. So they didn't have the opportunity. So when it comes on things that are valuable, like squatting, good example, like although you create an account on Twitter, Instagram, that's your professional account and name, you don't have to post anything until maybe 5 years later on when you're comfortable to do so. But at least get those names when you can. A good example, in today's world, a lot of new parents nowadays, when they're naming I've heard this, and it's an interesting way of thinking about it. I've heard some parents, when they have a new child, and they name the child, they will actually go online and buy the web domain of the child's name, and then they give the child's domain to them when they're older. So they sit and they squat on it because they know web domains in today's world are incredibly valuable, especially if it's a .com or .ca that a lot of people will use.
Absolutely. I actually went to purchase my own personal name, and I wish that I'd done it years ago because it was going to cost me tens of thousands of dollars to grab all of the specific ones, because Andrew McLean's a really common name, and a lot of Scots named Andrew, so it's not an easy name to find. But I was lucky enough to get a couple of different things. And actually, if you are a student, you can sign up for the GitHub Student Developer Pack. Dom, if you can maybe link that in the Twitch, just a link to that. And basically that allows for you to access a whole bunch of free tools, including a personal .me, so .me domain name.
Really good.
Which is really cool. And what's great is because of those .me, it used to be a country code, but now it's really being used a lot for personal websites. So definitely take advantage of that. And you get it every year that you're a student. You can get a new developer pack. And so you don't pay for that until you're no longer a student anymore.
I had no idea about that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and you can actually get some free hosting through them too. So there's opportunities to actually have your website hosted for free. So as long as you're a student, if you're on the call on Twitter, you can definitely check it out. It's just over education.github.com if you're interested in the GitHub student pack. You're also welcome to just sort of Google GitHub Education, and then that'll give you an idea of what that's all about. So from Brandon, from all of us here at HighTechU, to you and the amazing White Hatter team, thank you so much for making this Tech Bite possible. It's so exciting to be able to partner with such amazing folks that are doing similar things with teens, and to give some even better tips and tools and things that they can use to set themselves up for success in the future.
Thank you for having me on the show. It's great working with you as well, Andrew. And I look forward to hopefully doing more of these Tech Bites in the future.
Awesome.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, this is great. Thanks so much, Brandon. All right, everybody. So be sure to tune in to Tech Bites or be sure to tune in to hightechu.ca for more information on Tech Bites. Check us out on social media. We post updates regularly on all the different episodes. It looks like we'll likely be having another Tech Bites episode next week, but we'll definitely be having another Q&A corner, tech questions answered daily, which will be taking place tomorrow at noon. If you're watching us on Twitch, you can definitely check us out in the link that is linked there. You can also get our YouTube channel. You can get our Twitter for our latest updates there. Thank you all so much again for checking out today's live stream on Twitch and Periscope, and we look forward to connecting with you again soon. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to physically distance and socially connect online. Thanks so much, and have a great rest of your day.